My video for May the 29th, 2018, which I guess is Memorial Day here in the United States, is entitled, well, actually, I guess the 28th is, this is the video, though, for the 29th. The title is, There Is No Debt, Just Deficit Thinking. The money game is and always has been deceptive. As some legends reveal, it was created as a method of enslaving people without chains or any visible means of control. In more recent history, international bankers even stopped having anything tangible backing the dollar, pounds, and other currencies. Money is a debt instrument, allegedly indebting the people of the world to charlatans who fine-tune their slavery system of control. Such debt is fraud, against which there is no statute of limitations. That means, in simple terms, that the criminals who have been operating the system can be brought to trial and convicted of treason anytime God decides to stop making excuses and takes responsibility for the scam that has gone on far too long. As I say God, because only one with supernatural powers can provide justice. We, the people, without empowerment, are incapable of making the needed changes. To me, the deficit thinking not only applies to us as humans who have been brainwashed for millennia, it also has to refer to the great creator. True value lies in the people's ability to co-create. God, please activate that ability in and for us. Once again, I'm faced with the talk of the RV, which is always imminent, but never happens. Once again, I get news reports of the mind control system, and the cell phone is perhaps the greatest implement yet designed to keep our attention from actually focusing on anything deep. We're always checking our messages to see if who's texted us next, and we've become enslaved by technology, and we don't do the deep inner meditative thing where we take time to get to know what's going on inside of us. It's always we're paying attention to what others are saying about us and what's going on around us. And we do need to pay attention to what's going on around us, but it's not an either or thing. We need to do both, and we need to take time to actually go within and find out what we're feeling, what's going on inside of us. That's why I take time to hug trees, and why I've been able to actually come to the point where I can hear my own heartbeat in the tree itself, and not, I thought it was just the one tree, but now I've done it in 3 different trees, and I can hear my own heartbeat in the tree. It's like a stethoscope. And when I hug my favorite hugging tree, I send my energy, all my negative stuff, down into the roots to be grounded, and my aspirations to rise up into the heavens. I use the tree as the implementation of that. Not technology, but something natural. And folks, debt is not a natural thing. We were not born indebted. We were born innocent. And technically, we were born dependent but free. And over a period of time in our lives, because it happened to our parents before, and their parents before them, and their parents before them, going back how many generations you want to go back? Thousands and thousands of generations. But we have become programmed by the external world, and we don't pay attention to the internal world. But here's the thing. As I've said in other videos, they used to have the people that wanted to enslave other people, or the beings that wanted to enslave other people, used chains and guards and forced people to do the work that they wanted to do, whether it was mining precious metals or whatever it was. They used force and threats against the people to get them to do their will, they being whatever the bosses were. And then they realized that they could do the same thing by not letting them know that they were actually slaves. So they would pay them money to keep them enslaved. And even the guards started taking the money and doing the same thing that the bosses wanted done. I was going to say the elite establishment wanted done, and it's the same thing. The elite establishment are operating as bosses, but it's a deception. It's always been a demonic deception. Always, from the get-go. You have sinned, you have sinned, you have sinned. No, you didn't. That's a deception. The religions that have been foisted on us, the ideas that have been put upon us are deceptions. And money is the big one now because, I mean, like, take me for example. When I had my own house and I didn't have rent to pay and I didn't have certain expenses that I have now, I was able to actually feel a sense of freedom, even though I didn't have a lot of money. I was able to feel free. I was not pushed in. And so taking my home away from me and forcing me to have to pay rent and exist in a world based on money, it squeezed me. It put the squeeze on me. And that's what it does. It puts the squeeze on our capabilities and it tries to limit our vision. I don't want my vision limited, which is why I go away from the computer at times. I mean, every day I take time to go away from the computer and not be enslaved by technology. It's why I don't watch television. I just don't watch it. But the slavery system seems to be so invasive and so effective in getting humans to go off on tangents that don't matter and not even pay attention to the internal voices that we need to hear, the voice within ourselves, our conscience, or whatever you want to call it. And I really think it's up to the creator, the great creator, as one song said, to take responsibility for creation. We as humans can do only so much, but we do not have the capability to withstand all of the weaponry that has been formed against us. We don't have the power and the capability of doing that. We need intervention. And that intervention needs to come in some way that disempowers the elite establishment and empowers humanity. And then we can have a new world. We can co-create together a new world of beauty, a new world with meaning and substance. And we can start actually loving one another and actually working together and discovering how we've been deceived and how we can transcend the deception. These are important things that we need to look at. And I encourage everyone to take time to be in nature, take time to listen to that inner voice, take time to meditate, take time to pray and call out. However you do it, it doesn't matter. But don't allow yourself to continue to be entrapped by the system, because that's deficit thinking, and we've got to break free of that. There is no debt. We owe ourselves liberation. Can we give it and achieve it? I hope so. Thank you for listening.